What if I told you the most powerful technology you've ever owned isn't in your pocket? It's in your throat. Every word you've ever spoken is still out there, vibrating through the field, echoing like code written into the operating system of your life. You think you're describing reality, but you're not. You're authoring it, sentence by sentence, breath by breath. Ancient priests knew this. They called it Hekah, the power of utterance. The Greeks called it LOGOS. Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of frequency. They all pointed to the same forbidden truth. Sound is not communication, it's command. Say, I'm not ready, and your timeline pauses. Say, I am inevitable, and probability starts rewriting itself to fit. For centuries, this knowledge was hidden, burned, ridiculed, because once people realized their voice could bend reality, you couldn't control them anymore. In the next few minutes, I'm going to hand you the root access they tried to bury, how to use breath, tone, and language to rewrite the physics of your own existence. This isn't mindset, this isn't motivation, it's mechanics, the forgotten code of creation. And once you understand what your voice is really doing to the field around you, you'll never speak carelessly again. Because you'll finally realize every word you say is either programming your freedom or reinforcing your cage. Let's start with something most people never notice. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your resonance. Every sound you make sends out a vibration, a wave of pressure moving through the air at about 340 meters per second. Those waves don't just disappear, they leave an imprint in the space around you. Your voice isn't just air moving through your throat. It's energy, frequency, information being broadcast into the field of reality itself. You felt this before. Think about the last time you walked into a room and instantly sensed tension, even before anyone said a word. That wasn't just intuition. That was your nervous system reading vibration. Now, flip it around. Every time you speak, you're broadcasting a signal that other nervous systems instantly pick up. When you complain, people feel it before you finish the sentence. When you speak with certainty, the world starts to align with that confidence. Even right now as you listen, the air around you is vibrating in precise patterns. Those patterns subtly influence your breathing, your mood, even your heartbeat. Sound is never passive. Sound is interaction. Sound is command. So the question isn't whether your voice affects reality. The question is, are you using it consciously or unconsciously? Here's a truth most people never hear. You've been shaping your reality your whole life through the tone and intention of your own voice. Every sigh, every declaration, every quiet thought spoken aloud, each one sends a signal into the field. And the field, like an echo, mirrors it back as experience. The great physicist Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, once said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness." Even he understood that the physical world begins with awareness, and vibration is how that awareness expresses itself. You've already seen it work. Remember a time you spoke in anger and felt the entire room change? Or when you declared something with absolute conviction and doors started opening? Or when you whispered a prayer and felt the air shift, as if something unseen leaned closer? That wasn't coincidence. That was resonance meeting coherence. That was your vibration writing new instructions into the field. You've been doing this your whole life. The only difference between where you are now and where you want to be is awareness. Once you realize your voice is a transmitter, sending out reality-shaping frequencies 24/7, you'll stop throwing words into the void and start speaking with intention. Because when your imagination, emotion, and vibration align into one clear signal, your words stop being noise. They become creation. Stay with me, because next, I'll show you how modern science is finally proving what the mystics always knew. Your voice isn't just sound. It's the most powerful instrument of transformation you've ever been given. See, if sound is just air vibrating, then why does a mother's lullaby calm a screaming infant within seconds? Why does a coach's roar ignite a losing team into sudden victory? Why does a single scream in a silent room make your heart race before your brain even understands the danger? Because sound isn't passive. It's bioelectric. It's electromagnetic. It's a living force that reorganizes matter at every level, from your cells to your circumstances. Let's start with something you can actually see. Cymatics, the study of visible sound. When you sprinkle sand on a metal plate and play a tone, the particles leap into precise, almost sacred geometries. The frequency never touches the sand, yet it shapes the field around it, and the particles obey that invisible pattern. Change the tone and the pattern instantly transforms. Now, zoom out. Your life is that plate. Your voice is the tone. Every word you speak, every emotion-laced vibration you release is rearranging the particles of your reality into matching patterns. This isn't poetic language. It's a reflection of physical law you can watch happen with your own eyes. Quantum field theory tells us that everything in existence begins as waves of potential, endless versions of reality waiting to take shape, until an interaction collapses them into form. Most scientists call that interaction observation. But here's the part they rarely talk about. Sound itself is a kind of observation. It doesn't just describe reality, it interferes with it. When you speak, you send a pressure wave through the quantum field that selects one probability and helps pull it into existence. Your voice doesn't just describe outcomes, it helps choose them. Now let's bring it back to your body. Neuroscientists at the HeartMath Institute have discovered that your heart generates an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than your brain. When you feel gratitude, certainty, or deep coherence, that field expands dramatically and begins synchronizing everything around it. Other people's nervous systems, even the subtle electromagnetic environment itself. When you speak from that state of coherence, your words carry literal, energetic charge. The sound doesn't only travel through air, it moves through the field, imprinting information faster than logic can comprehend. Here's the part that should make you pause. Your body listens to your own voice from the inside out. When you speak, the vibration doesn't simply exit your mouth. It travels through your bones, your fascia, and your cerebrospinal fluid. Your nervous system reabsorbs those frequencies and begins tuning itself to whatever emotion and intention you just expressed. That's why actors use vocal warm-ups before a performance. That's why athletes shout before a lift. That's why monks chant for hours. They're not performing, they're programming. They're using sound to tune their biology into the state they need to embody. Think of a singer who hits a note so pure that a wine glass shatters across the room. The glass didn't break because it was touched. It broke because it resonated at the precise frequency of destruction. Your voice works in the same way. When you speak at the frequency of healing, old emotional patterns begin to dissolve. When you speak at the frequency of abundance, scarcity structures collapse. You are the note. Reality is the glass. The question is, what are you shattering today? And I'm not asking you to believe any of this blindly. I'm asking you to test it. Because the moment you realize that your voice is an electromagnetic instrument capable of bending probability, you'll stop wasting it on complaints, gossip, and self-doubt. You'll start speaking as if every word costs $1,000, because in the field of creation, that's not far from the truth. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to be a scientist to use it. You don't need to understand wave-particle duality or the math behind electromagnetic coherence. You just need to stop speaking from confusion and start speaking from alignment. That's it. That's the whole mechanism. In the next section, I'm going to show you how your voice, emotion, and imagination combine to create alignment, and how you can activate it in under 60 seconds. Every creation begins as a frequency. But frequency alone isn't enough. It needs structure, voltage, and transmission. Your voice is the conductor. Your emotion is the power source. Your imagination is the blueprint. When all three align, you're not hoping for change. You're engineering it. Think of it like an equation. Imagination, blueprint, times emotion, voltage, times voice, transmission equals manifestation, form. If any variable is missing, the circuit collapses. You can visualize abundance all day, but if your voice trembles with fear when you speak about money, the frequency shorts out. You can shout affirmations at the mirror, but if your emotions contradict your words, the signal cancels itself, just like two opposing sound waves creating silence. Most people live in that static zone, wondering why nothing shifts. It's because they're broadcasting mixed frequencies. Let's break it down. Your imagination is the architect. It designs the blueprint of what you're about to build. But here's the key. Imagination isn't fantasy. It's not daydreaming about winning the lottery while eating chips on the couch. Real imagination is sensory precision. It's the ability to see, feel, hear, taste, and touch a future reality so vividly that your nervous system begins responding as if it's already here. When you close your eyes and imagine confidence, your body should feel it. Chest open, breath steady, spine straight. That's not pretending. That's pre-patterning. Your emotion is the amplifier. It's the electrical charge that turns a whisper into a roar. When you speak with conviction, when your words carry feeling, you multiply your electromagnetic field exponentially. The subconscious doesn't understand grammar. It responds to intensity. That's why a quiet, emotionally charged yes moves mountains while a loud, hollow scream fades into nothing. Emotion isn't decoration. It's the voltage that makes your command undeniable. Your voice is the transmitter. It's the bridge between the invisible frequency of thought and the visible structure of matter. Your larynx is an electromagnetic generator. Every vibration it produces ripples through space, colliding with other fields, people, environments, even your own cells. Your body hears your voice before anyone else does. The sound re-enters through bone conduction and begins rewriting your internal state from the inside out. That's why what you say to yourself is more powerful than what anyone says about you. You are your own primary broadcaster. Now here's where it gets practical. Most people think they need hours of meditation, years of therapy, or a guru on a mountaintop to access this alignment. But the truth is simpler and more immediate. Alignment happens the moment your thought, emotion, and breath move as one current. That's it. No candles, no crystals, just coherence. Let me show you how this works in real time. Think of something you deeply want, not something you should want, but something that makes your chest hum when you imagine it. Got it? Good. Now notice your body's response. Does your chest open or tighten? Does your breath deepen or shallow? That's feedback from your field. Your body is showing you whether you're aligned with that desire or in conflict with it. Now whisper that desire aloud, slowly, like you're engraving it into stone. Feel the vibration rise from your diaphragm, not your throat. Notice how the sound hums through your ribs. That's resonance. The physical proof that your voice moves matter. When the words feel right, your nervous system relaxes. When they clunk, you're out of tune. Adjust the phrasing until it hums. That hum is alignment. That hum is power. Here's the truth. You've been doing this your whole life without realizing it. Every time you declared, "I've got this," before a big moment, you weren't psyching yourself up. You were tuning your field to match the outcome. Every time you said, "I knew this would go wrong," before it did, you weren't predicting. You were programming. The only difference between unconscious creation and conscious creation is awareness of the signal. So the question isn't if your voice shapes reality. The question is, are you going to keep broadcasting static, or are you ready to tune your frequency with precision? Because in the next section, we're going to move beyond theory and into activation. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to design a command so precise The universe can't misunderstand it. Ready to learn the language of Logos? Step 1. Intention design. Crafting commands that reality obeys. The universe is not a genie waiting for wishes. It's an operating system waiting for commands. And just like any system, it requires precise syntax. Vague input produces vague output. Specific, emotionally charged, present tense commands produce undeniable results. So the first step isn't hoping. It's engineering your intention with the clarity of a coder, writing flawless script. Let's start with what doesn't work. I want to be happy. What does that mean? When? How? What does happiness look like in your body, your breath, your daily rhythm? The field can't build from fog. It needs texture, specificity, sensory detail. Compare that to, I am at peace, my shoulders are loose, my breath moves slow and deep, and I smile without effort. See the difference? The second version gives your subconscious something it can feel, and when your body feels it, it begins reorganizing toward it. Your intention must meet 3 non-negotiable criteria. Specific. Don't say more money. Say, I earn $10,000 this month through work I love. The mind loves precision. Vague commands scatter energy. Specific commands focus it like a laser. Sensory. Add texture. What does it feel like when it's real? If it's confidence, feel your spine straighten. If it's abundance, feel the relief in your chest. If it's love, feel warmth in your ribs. Sensory language tells your nervous system, this is not fantasy, this is memory. Present tense. Don't say, I will, or I hope. Say, I am. The quantum field doesn't recognize time. It only recognizes resonance. When you speak as if it's already complete, you collapse the wave function. You stop reaching for the future and start inhabiting it now. Now let's make this real. Think of one reality you're ready to command into existence, not something safe or small, something that makes your chest tighten with desire. Got it? Good. Now reshape it using the 3 criteria. Say it aloud in this format. I am now experiencing precise outcome, and it feels, describe the sensation. Notice how your body reacts. If the statement hums through you, even faintly, that's resonance. That's your nervous system saying, yes, this frequency matches me. If it clunks, if it feels fake or distant, you're not lying. You're just out of tune. Adjust the words until they vibrate cleanly. That's alignment. That's the signal the field will obey. Here's an example. Let's say you want financial freedom. Don't say, I want to stop worrying about money. That's still focused on worry. Instead, try, I am financially free. I pay my bills with ease, I invest without fear, and I sleep deeply knowing I'm supported. Feel the difference. The first version broadcasts lack. The second version broadcasts completion. The field mirrors the dominant signal. Now write your command down. 1 line. Black ink. Full stop at the end. No ellipses, no question marks. You're not asking. You're issuing a directive to existence itself. And here's the rule. Once you write it, don't edit it for 7 days. Let it sit. Let your subconscious absorb it. Because the moment you start second-guessing, you fracture the frequency. This is the foundation. Without a clear command, the rest of the process is like trying to tune a radio to a station that doesn't exist. But once your intention is crystallized, everything else becomes amplification. And in the next step, we're going to charge that command with voltage by learning how to calibrate your emotions so they fuel creation instead of fracturing it. Step 2. Emotional calibration. Turning feeling into voltage. Emotion is the electrical current that makes your words more than sound. It makes them law. Without emotional charge, your commands are static. With it, they become lightning. The quantum field doesn't respond to flat declarations, it responds to electric sincerity. You're not convincing the universe, you're energizing it. Emotion tells reality, this matters. This is non-negotiable. But here's the mistake most people make. They try to force feelings they don't have. They recite affirmations about abundance while their stomach churns with panic. They declare confidence while their heart races with self-doubt. That's not coherence. That's contradiction. And the field doesn't care which emotion is louder. It just mirrors the dominant frequency. So if your words say one thing, but your nervous system broadcasts another, guess which signal wins? Your body is the amplifier. Every emotion you feel translates into measurable electrical patterns. Your heart alone generates an electromagnetic field that extends 3 to 6 feet beyond your body. When you feel gratitude, relief, or certainty, that field synchronizes into coherence, and your voice begins transmitting a clean, high-voltage signal. When you feel fear, doubt, or shame, the current splits, and your message burns out before it even reaches the field. So we start with calibration. Sit up straight. Feel your spine lengthen. Place your hand on your chest and take a slow breath in for 4 counts. Hold for 4, exhale for 6. This isn't woo-woo, this is biology. That exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system, signaling to your body that it's safe to create instead of defend. Do it again. Inhale, hold, exhale. Feel the shift. That's your field beginning to stabilize. Now summon the emotion that matches your intention. If your command is about abundance, feel gratitude. If it's about health, feel relief. If it's about love, feel warmth. Don't fake it. Evoke it. Close your eyes and think of one memory that makes you feel that way. A moment when you felt truly supported, a time when your body felt strong, a conversation where you felt deeply seen. Let that emotion rise naturally. Feel it fill your chest until it tingles. That tingling? That's voltage. That's the current your voice needs to carry. Now speak your command again, same words but infused with this emotional charge. Notice the difference. The tone deepens, the body steadies, the air feels heavier. That's resonance. That's the moment your nervous system believes you. And when your nervous system believes, the field has no choice but to mirror. Here's the secret no one tells you. You don't need to feel the perfect emotion. You just need to feel something real. Even anger can fuel creation if you transmute it into focus. Even grief can become empathy. Even fear can sharpen into alertness. Every emotion is energy, and energy is neutral until you direct it. So your job isn't to suppress or control feelings. Your job is to tune them. Like an audio engineer, you adjust the volume, not the content. Let me give you a real-world example. Think of an Olympic sprinter in the starting blocks. Their heart is pounding. Their muscles are coiled. They're not calm, they're electric. But that electricity isn't scattered. It's focused. Every ounce of tension is aimed at one outcome. The gun fires, and they explode forward. That's emotional calibration. That's harnessing intensity and aiming it like a weapon. Now apply that to your life. When you feel anxious before speaking your command, don't push the anxiety away. Recognize it as energy, then redirect it. Say to yourself, this electricity is power. I'm not nervous, I'm charged. And I'm about to use this charge to shift my reality. Watch how fast the energy transforms. What felt like fear becomes fuel. What felt like doubt becomes determination. Here's your practice. For the next 7 days before you speak your command aloud, take 1 minute to calibrate. Breathe. Summon the feeling. Let it hum through your chest. Then speak. Don't rush it. Don't perform it. Just let the words roll out like lava. Slow, heavy, inevitable. And notice how reality begins to bend the moment you stop reciting and start resonating. Now that you've charged your command with voltage, it's time to learn how to transmit it with precision. In the next step, we're going into vocal tuning, where I'll show you how to turn your voice into a sonic instrument, capable of collapsing probability and reshaping matter. This is where the magic becomes mechanical. Ready? Step 3. Vocal tuning and resonance. The instrument that bends reality. Your voice is not decoration. It's not just the vehicle that carries your thoughts into the world, it's the force that shapes the world around you. Ancient mystics didn't chant for ritual. They chanted because they understood that sound reorganizes the geometry of space. Your larynx is an electromagnetic generator. Every vibration it produces ripples through matter, energy, and probability. When your tone wavers, reality wavers. When your tone steadies, reality crystallizes. Let's make this tangible. Place your hand on your chest and hum a low, steady Feel the vibration travel through your bones, your skin, your ribs. That's resonance, the physical proof that your sound moves matter. Now, open the hum into an ah, letting the vibration rise from your diaphragm instead of your throat. Feel the difference? When sound originates from the throat, it's weak, strained, surface level. When it rises from the diaphragm, from your core, it carries weight. That's your power zone. That's the same tone monks hold for hours to align with the OM frequency, the vibrational seed of the universe. Here's the truth. Most people speak from their throat because they're disconnected from their body. They've spent years swallowing their voice, shrinking their presence, tiptoeing through conversations. But your voice was never meant to be timid. It was designed to move things. When you speak from your center, you send a signal so coherent that every nervous system in range begins to entrain to your frequency. That's not charisma. That's physics. Resonant frequency entrainment. When one oscillating system emits a strong, stable tone, nearby systems synchronize to match it. So how do you build vocal gravity? A tone so aligned it bends probability. Start with breath. Before you speak your command, take a full breath from your belly, not your chest. Feel your diaphragm expand. Hold for a beat. Then release the words on the exhale, slow and deliberate. Don't rush, don't perform. Let each word drop like a stone into still water, rippling through every layer of your being. Now let's practice in 3 stages. Stage 1. Soft calibration. Whisper your command. Let it roll like smoke, barely audible. This isn't about volume, it's about tuning the frequency. Feel the words settle into your body. Adjust the phrasing until it hums cleanly. Stage 2. Rooted transmission. Say it again slightly louder from your chest. Feel the vibration deepen. Let your voice carry weight without strain. This is command without force, certainty without aggression. Stage 3. Absolute declaration. Say it one final time with full conviction, not shouting, commanding, like you're engraving the words into the fabric of space-time itself. Feel the resonance echo through your bones. That tone, not the words, is what the universe hears. Here's the science. When you speak with coherence, your voice emits a pattern of frequency that your own nervous system reabsorbs through bone conduction. That sound doesn't just exit your body, it re-enters through your skull, your jaw, your spine. Your cells listen to your voice before the world does. That's why monks chant. That's why singers radiate power. They're not performing for an audience. They're programming their biology with sound. Think of an actor preparing for a role. They don't just memorize lines, they rehearse the tone. They practice speaking as the character until their voice becomes the character. Method actors will spend months shifting their vocal patterns because they understand that sound rewrites identity. When you speak as confident, your nervous system begins to believe it. When you speak as abundant, your biology reorganizes toward that state. You're not faking it, you're activating it. Now think of a coach yelling on the sidelines. Their voice doesn't just motivate, it reorganizes the field. Players who were scattered suddenly move as one unit. Why? Because the coach's tone carried such voltage that every nervous system in range synchronized to it. That's vocal gravity. That's what you're building. Here's your practice. For the next 7 days, speak your command aloud 3 times every morning. Soft, rooted, absolute. Feel the progression. Notice how your body responds differently at each stage. And most importantly, Notice how the world begins to respond. Because when your voice carries coherence, people don't just hear you differently, they see you differently. Opportunities appear, conversations shift, synchronicities multiply. Not because you're lucky, because you've become a tuning fork for alignment. Now that your voice is calibrated, it's time to learn the syntax of creation, the exact phrasing that programs the quantum field. Step 4. Command phrasing, the grammar of creation. Now that your voice is tuned and charged, it's time to speak in code. Every command you issue is spiritual syntax, and just like software, one misplaced symbol can crash the entire system. The universe doesn't interpret sarcasm, hesitation, or doubt. It executes structure. So you must learn the grammar that creation obeys. The first law, speak in present tense. Never say I will or someday or I hope. Say I am. Those two words, I am, are the original creative formula. When Moses asked God for his name, the response was, I am that I am. This wasn't a title, it was an instruction. Every time you say I am, you tell the quantum field what to assemble next. So choose your declarations like your life depends on them, because it does. When you say I will be confident, you place confidence in the future, always out of reach. When you say I am confident, you collapse time. You inhabit the frequency now. The field doesn't recognize past or future, only present resonance. So speak as if it's already done, because in the quantum realm, it is. The second law, use definitive verbs. The universe responds to certainty, not suggestion. Replace I want with I create, I attract, I embody. The word want broadcasts lack. It tells the field something is missing. The word am broadcasts completion. It tells the field what already exists. When you say, I am healed, your cells begin reorganizing toward that pattern. When you say, I want healing, you instruct your biology to remain in deficit. Think about how a director speaks to actors. They don't say, I hope you'll feel sad in this scene. They say, you are heartbroken. You've just lost everything. That definitiveness rewrites the actor's nervous system instantly. Use that same command with yourself, not I want success. I am successful, not I wish I were confident. I embody confidence. Feel the shift? That's power. The third law, attach sensory detail. Commands are not data, they're vibrations. The more sensory information you include, the faster your nervous system recognizes the frequency as real. Don't just say, I am healthy. Say, I am radiantly healthy. My skin glows, my breath flows easily, my body moves without pain. Your subconscious translates those sensations into biological signals. Your cells listen for texture, not abstraction. When an athlete visualizes a perfect performance, they don't just see themselves winning. They feel the sweat on their skin, hear the crowd roar, taste the adrenaline. That sensory precision activates the exact neural pathways needed for execution. Apply that same principle. Make your commands so vivid that your body has no choice but to respond. The fourth law, no contradictions. Don't mix frequencies. Don't say, I'm abundant but stressed, or I'm confident but anxious. The field doesn't do nuance. It obeys the dominant vibration. If your tone wavers between certainty and doubt, the result will reflect that static. Instead, speak unity. I am abundant and peaceful. I earn easily and rest deeply. I am powerful and grounded. Think of it like music. You can't play two notes that clash and expect harmony. Your command must be a single, pure tone. One frequency, one instruction, no static. When you speak with unified coherence, the field has no confusion about what to build. The fifth law, end with silence. After you speak your command, stop. Don't explain it. Don't justify it. Don't ask if it worked. The moment the vibration leaves your lips, the transmission is complete. Adding commentary fractures the signal. Silence is not emptiness. It's the space where creation germinates. Let your words dissolve into the field. Trust the stillness. That's where the universe does its deepest work. Now let's practice. Take your command, the one you've been refining, and speak it 3 times, softly, to establish frequency. With full conviction to charge voltage, followed by silence to let the field process. Then stop. You've just written new code into the matrix. The work is done. But here's the paradox. The moment you release a command, your only job is to trust it. And that's where most people sabotage themselves. So in the next step, we're going into release and trust, the art of letting the universe obey without interference. Ready? Step 5, release and trust, the paradox of power. Here's the part that breaks most people. The more you chase your command after speaking it, the weaker it becomes. Real authority doesn't beg. Real power doesn't chase. When you've spoken your command with full coherence, the work is complete. From that moment forward, your only job is to trust the signal. Think of the quantum field like soil. You plant a seed, your command, and the moment you bury it, nature begins obeying. Roots spread, cells divide. Growth happens in darkness, unseen. But this is where people sabotage themselves. They dig up the seed every hour to check if it's growing. Every "why isn't it happening yet?" sends a contradictory wave that cancels the original frequency. Every doubt is a command to stop. Every anxious glance backward fractures the field. So here's your ritual. After you've spoken your command, place your right hand over your heart and whisper, "It is done. So it is." Then take one long exhale, a physical signal of release. Imagine your words leaving your body like light dissolving into fog, absorbed by the field. That exhale is sacred. It tells your nervous system, "I've spoken. Now I surrender the outcome." Not because you don't care, but because you trust the mechanics of creation itself. Now adopt what I call the 72-hour silence rule. For 3 full days after issuing your command, you don't check for evidence. You don't test reality. You don't ask, "Is it working?" For 72 hours, you live as if the command is already integrated into the fabric of your existence. You speak from completion. You act from certainty. You move through your day as the version of yourself who already received what was spoken. This isn't passive waiting. This is active embodiment. You're not hoping. You're inhabiting. And when your nervous system fully relaxes into that state, the field has no choice but to mirror it. Doubt fragments coherence. Trust strengthens it. It's not psychological, it's electromagnetic. If your mind tries to grab control, and it will use this reframe, the seed is already growing, even if I can't see it. Every time you return to trust instead of tension, the field tightens around your intention. You're not abandoning the outcome, you're honoring the process. Think of a director after they've wrapped a film. They've done the work. They've captured every scene. Now the footage goes to editing, sound design, color grading, processes they don't control. They trust the team. They don't storm into the editing room every hour demanding to see progress. They release. They wait. And when the final cut emerges, it's exactly what they envisioned, refined by forces they couldn't micromanage. You are the director. Your command is the footage. Now let the universe edit, refine, and deliver. Your interference only delays the premiere. You'll know you've released properly when your body relaxes, when you stop scanning your environment for proof, when you feel calm certainty instead of anxious hope. That calm is not apathy, it's mastery. That's when you've stopped commanding at reality and started collaborating with it. And when trust becomes natural, something profound happens. You shift from forcing outcomes to magnetizing them. Doors open that you didn't knock on. Conversations lead places you didn't plan. Synchronicities appear like breadcrumbs from the field itself, confirming your transmission. Which brings us to the next stage, receiving training. Step 6. Receiving training. Reading the field's response. Once you've released your command, creation enters its quiet phase, the germination of vibration. This is where most people fail. They either wait passively, hoping something magical happens, or they chase desperately, demanding proof. But receiving is neither waiting nor chasing. It's attunement. You're not hoping reality will change. You're tuning your senses to recognize that it already is. Here's the truth. Reality responds instantly to your command. The field begins rearranging the moment you speak, but your perception is usually the bottleneck. Your eyes, emotions, and habitual thought patterns are too noisy to notice the subtle signals. So the art of receiving is really the art of seeing. It's training your awareness to pick up the echoes of your command as they ripple through life's fabric. Step 1. Create an evidence log. For the next 72 hours after speaking your command, record every synchronicity, coincidence, or subtle nudge that aligns with your intention, no matter how small. Did a stranger mention the exact word you used? Did a song lyric mirror your command? Did an unexpected idea drop into your mind? These are not accidents. They're data packets from the field confirming transmission received. Most people dismiss these signals as just coincidence. But there's no such thing as coincidence in a vibrational universe. Everything is frequency responding to frequency. The more you notice these signs, the faster they multiply. Observation itself is amplification. When you acknowledge the field's response, you strengthen the signal. Write it down, date it. Watch the pattern emerge. Step 2. Practice active receptivity. This means behaving as if you're already living in the version of reality you commanded. Not pretending, embodying. Dress like that version of you, walk like them, speak like them. When an opportunity appears, even if it's small or unexpected, move toward it. Creation is interactive. The field loves motion because motion confirms belief. Think of a basketball player who's been practicing their shot for months. When they finally get in the game and the ball comes to them, they don't hesitate. They don't question whether they're ready. They shoot. That's active receptivity. You've spoken your command, you've charged the field. Now when life tosses you the ball, you catch it. No second guessing. No, is this really it? You move. Step 3. Soften into feminine energy. If command is masculine energy, directive, assertive, outward, then receiving is feminine energy, open, magnetic, inward. Both are divine, both are necessary, the inhale and exhale of creation. When you soften into receptivity, you stop demanding and start recognizing. You see what tension once blinded you to. Close your eyes right now. Take a deep breath. Whisper your command again. But this time, don't send it outward. Listen. Listen for the echo in your body, in the air, in the quiet intelligence that moves through everything. That subtle hum you feel in your chest. That gentle knowing that something has shifted. That's the field responding. It's saying, received. Here's what athletes know that most people forget. The moment before the win is not loud. It's quiet. It's the split second when their body knows the shot is good before the ball even reaches the net. That's the frequency of receiving. No doubt. No drama. Just calm certainty. So your practice is this. For the next 7 days, move through your life with soft vigilance. Not searching for signs, recognizing them. Not chasing evidence, seeing it. Keep your evidence log. Act on subtle nudges. And most importantly, trust that the field is always responding, whether you perceive it in this moment or not. Because when you master this cycle, command, release, receive, you stop chasing manifestations and start living as one. That's the threshold of embodiment. And that's where we're going next. In step 7, you'll learn how to stop doing the process and start being the frequency itself. Ready? Step 7. Embodiment and integration. becoming the frequency. This is where speaking reality transforms from something you do into something you are. Embodiment is when your command stops being words and becomes your baseline vibration. The universe no longer receives you as someone trying to change. It recognizes you as the frequency it must obey. You've merged with the signal. Think of embodiment as the closing of the loop. In the first steps, you spoke your truth. In this one, you become it. Every movement, every glance, every breath now carries the same resonance as your original command. You don't affirm, "I am confident." You walk like confidence incarnate. You don't declare, "I am abundant." You move through the world like abundance itself, calm, certain, generous. This is what mystics called the Word made flesh. It means your vibration has densified into form. The thoughts you once rehearsed are now instincts. The emotions you had to summon are now your resting state. This is when life begins mirroring you instantly, because you're no longer commanding from separation. You've become the source. Here's how to anchor embodiment daily. Morning activation. 5 minutes. Before you speak to anyone, before you check your phone, whisper your core command once. Then sit in silence and breathe until your body hums with coherence. Don't rush this. Let the sensations settle into your muscles, your fascia, your nervous system. This isn't ritual, it's recalibration. You're tuning your instrument before the performance. Midday recalibration, 2 minutes. When stress creeps in, when old patterns resurface, stop. Place your hand on your chest and ask, "Am I broadcasting my command or my confusion?" Realign with one deep breath and one word. Remember. That's all. Just remember who you decided to be. That pause rewires the pattern. That breath restores the frequency. Evening integration. 3 minutes. Before sleep, reflect on where you acted like the version of yourself you've been commanding. Note every moment of alignment, no matter how small. Did you speak with confidence when you used to shrink? Did you make a decision from abundance instead of fear? Write it down. This teaches your subconscious, this is who I am now, not who I'm becoming, who I am. Embodiment isn't about perfection, it's about congruence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions hum in harmony, you become a human tuning fork for divine order. Challenges no longer knock you off balance because you don't need external validation. The coherence is internal. You've stopped performing power, you radiate it. Think of a master pianist. They don't think about which keys to press anymore. Their fingers move before their mind catches up. That's embodiment. The technique has become instinct. You're not consciously manifesting anymore. Manifestation becomes reflexive. Your presence alone bends probability. You don't seek outcomes, they gravitate toward you naturally, magnetically. And here's the beauty. Once embodiment stabilizes, you stop asking, "How do I manifest?" Because the question becomes irrelevant. You've become the still point in the turning world, the eye of your own creation. Not controlling every detail, but emanating such clear frequency that everything in your field reorganizes to match. You are no longer the seeker. You are the signal. And signals don't chase, they attract. Now that you understand the full mechanics, it's time to see how this works in the real world. In the next section, we're going into case studies and proof of power. Real examples of how people throughout history and today have used these exact principles to reshape reality. Ready to see living evidence that voice and vibration can rewrite destiny? Before you doubt, remember this. Every civilization that ever touched the edges of the divine understood that sound creates form. What we call miracles are often just people who mastered coherence earlier than the rest of us. Let me show you the proof. The Egyptian priests weren't performing magic tricks. They were executing physics. They used what they called Hekah, the power of utterance to awaken statues, heal the sick, and call rain from clear skies. When they spoke the name of a deity with the correct tone, rhythm, and emotional charge, they believed and documented that the god's essence entered the space. Not symbolically, literally. Because sound reorganizes electromagnetic patterns. Their temples were built with specific acoustics to amplify resonance. They knew what we're just remembering. Voice is voltage, and voltage shapes matter. Think of the times in your life when you just knew something before it happened. When your angry words destroyed a relationship within hours. When a prayer you whispered with full conviction was answered in ways you couldn't explain. You've already witnessed this law in action. You just didn't realize you were the source code. Let me give you one modern example. A woman named Sarah began using this method. Every morning for 7 days, she spoke one command. I am guided and supported in every decision I make. Within a week, her landlord, who hadn't spoken to her in months, called to say he was reducing her rent because of a sudden change of heart. A colleague she barely knew offered her a job opportunity she didn't apply for. A bank error resulted in a refund she'd forgotten about years ago. Random? No. Resonance. Her new vibration rewrote her environment's probability tree. This is not luck, this is law. The field doesn't play favorites, it mirrors frequencies. The more coherent your signal, the faster your world conforms. And that's why your next test isn't to believe in it, it's to prove it through direct experience. Which brings us to the most important part of this entire transmission. In the next section, I'm going to guide you through a live activation. A 6-minute sequence that will collapse everything you've learned into one unified experience. This is where theory becomes power, where knowledge becomes embodiment. Ready? This is the moment where philosophy becomes power. You've heard the science, the myth, the mechanism. Now we step into embodiment through direct activation. For the next 6 minutes, your voice will be the sculptor of worlds. Follow this sequence exactly and feel the field respond in real time. 1. Center, 1 minute. Close your eyes. Let the outside world fade. Breathe in slowly for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Feel your weight sink into the earth beneath you. The same intelligence that holds galaxies in perfect orbit is holding you right now. Whisper inwardly, I am the still point of creation. Each breath draws the universe closer. Each exhale clears the static. You are aligning with Source. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm is the drum the cosmos has been dancing to since the first star ignited. You are not separate from creation. You are creation, remembering itself. 2. Design, 1 minute. Now bring your intention forward. See it, sense it, hear it. Don't imagine it happening in the future. Feel it already complete. If it's abundance, feel the security in your chest, the ease in your breath. If it's love, feel warmth spreading through your ribs. If it's purpose, feel energy behind your eyes, clarity in your spine. Let the image and the feeling merge until you can't tell the difference between desire and fulfillment. That's not fantasy. That's memory of a future that's already formed. 3. Charge, 1 minute. Place your palm over your heart. Feel the electromagnetic field pulsing beneath your hand. Now, summon gratitude. Not for what's coming, but for what is. Say softly, thank you for this reality already formed. Emotion is voltage. Gratitude is the cleanest current. Let it hum. Let it buzz through your spine, your ribs, your throat. That vibration you feel, that's electricity in motion. That's your voice's fuel. Don't force it. Just feel it rising naturally, like heat from a flame. 4. Command, 2 minutes. Now speak your intention aloud, slowly, clearly, from your diaphragm, not your throat. I am now your command. Feel the vibration in your bones. Say it again, slightly louder with more conviction. I am now your command. Let the resonance deepen. Let your nervous system recognize the truth of it. Now one final time, with absolute certainty, as if you're engraving it into the operating system of the universe itself. It is done. Feel the echo. Feel how the air around you seems to thicken, as if the room itself is listening. That tone, not the words, is what the field hears. The command has been transmitted, the code has been written, the seed has been planted. 5. Release. 1 minute. Take one long, slow exhale. Imagine your words turning to light, dissolving into the space around you like ink spreading through water. No grasping, no waiting, no checking. Just release. Whisper, so it is. Trust the silence that follows. It's not emptiness, it's creation at work. The field is already rearranging probabilities to meet you. Your command is moving through the lattice of space-time, bending circumstances, opening pathways, collapsing potentials into form. Trust it, honor it, let it be. 6. Receive. 1 minute. Now breathe normally. Keep your eyes closed. Just listen. There's a faint hum in the air, a stillness that feels alive. That is your command vibrating through the quantum field, adjusting probability waves, aligning synchronicities. Smile. Not because you hope it worked. Smile because you know it did. You've just enacted the original ritual of creation. Breath, sound, and stillness in perfect harmony. What the ancients called LOGOS is now alive in your voice. When you open your eyes, notice how colors feel sharper, how the air feels thicker, how presence amplifies everything. That's coherence. You've shifted the frequency of your personal universe. And now the universe has no choice but to mirror that shift back to you. Pause for just a moment. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm pulsing in your chest is the same drum the universe has been dancing to since the first photons split into light and dark. You've just remembered what you are. Not a spectator of creation, but the instrument of it. You are the Word made flesh, the vibration-wearing skin, the voice through which infinity speaks itself into form. Most people will go their whole lives begging reality to change, never realizing they've been commanding it unconsciously all along. But you've seen behind the curtain. You now know that your words are electric, your emotions magnetic, and your voice divine. Every syllable you speak from this point forward will either weaken your field or strengthen it. Choose resonance, choose coherence, choose command. Your final challenge. For the next 7 days, pick one command, one truth you're ready to embody, and speak it every morning aloud. Not timidly, not hypothetically, but as if it's law. Then walk through your day as though the world has already rearranged to match it. Because it will. Watch for the synchronicities. Watch for the whispers. Watch for how people start responding to the new vibration you've become. And when it happens, when your reality begins to move in ways you can't explain, don't keep it to yourself. Share your evidence. Speak your command in the comments below so others can feel your signal ripple outward. Because when one voice speaks in coherence, it raises the frequency of the collective. Your ripple could be someone else's awakening. Remember this: you are not here to plead with the universe. You are not here to hope, wish, or beg. You are the universe, remembering its own voice. So speak once with absolute knowing, and the world will answer in kind. Now breathe. Let your silence echo. You've just spoken creation into motion. The next chapter begins when you do. You've just remembered what every sage, mystic, and scientist tried to tell humanity in their own language. You are the instrument through which reality sings itself into form. So when you open your mouth after this moment, don't speak casually. Speak consciously. Because now you know, every word is a spell. Every phrase a seed, every I am a line of code that rewrites the fabric of your existence. Breathe once. Let silence settle. That's the sound of the field listening. Now speak, I am the frequency that builds worlds. That's your new baseline. Now prove it. Comment "I am" your command below, then run the 72-hour reality test. Track 3 synchronicities that echo your words and post your proof. Tag one person to join you, because when one of us speaks from coherence, the entire human field vibrates higher. If this transmission resonated, subscribe and check the newsletter in the description. The next activation drops there first. Until then, keep your voice sacred, your silence powerful, and your words divine. In the beginning was the Word. Now the Word is you.